Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Have You Ever Played podcast, the only podcast by dandies for dandies. I am your host, Matt Fondude, and I am again with my special guest, Polkabird, aka Ryan, because our regular co-host James is still dealing with the sickness. He's still down with the sickness. So, hello, Ryan.
Hello.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm quite dandy actually.
You're quite dandy. Do you want to explain a little bit of why we chose to use the dandy moniker
The
before I even explain what the podcast is about? Just explain dandyism
the
in
the
your own
18th
words.
and 19th century movement of dandyism in which a man placed particular appearance on his clothes and aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Why, that dandyism?
Yes, that I feel like I could get into some dandyism. I feel like
A
I
modern day
could.
dandy.
There are modern day dandies,
I think
which
you know
are
what? Modern day dandy is an incredible indie band name.
modern day dandy. Yeah, that really is a good one.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
I could hear the ukulele tuning up already,
Yep.
and the repeated vocals and just so good. Yeah, so we're a video game podcast. It's
Mm.
unapparent from our conversation, but the Have You Ever Played podcast is typically a book club for games where we take a game every week and we'll play a little bit of it. Unfortunately, due to my own sickness and my co-host sickness, we have been behind on that, but we're going to be doing a side quest episode today where I think the topic of today's episode will be Steam most played game, or like longest played games, so your like most hours on Steam
I
by
like
playtime.
how with your theming convention here, I went from the side quest giver who is there for just a single fetch quest, and then just into the linear chain of side quests where it's
Well,
like
now
I
you're yeah, now you're
yeah.
one of those side quests with like a gold star next to it. It's
Oh
like a little
wow,
bit different. Yeah, it's one of those side quests that unlocks like a new like you unlocked a boat from beating the whole side quest.
this boat can get you to the main quest. I'm
Oh
a
yes,
semi important side quest character now.
yeah.
I'm
In Final
feeling it. I'm feeling
Fantasy
it.
14, the MMO, there are side quests in that game that are pointless basically besides leveling up. It'll be like Jonathan needs you to get 10 eggs from the coop, and it literally gives you like 10 XP. But then there are quests that have a little tiny like symbol and they unlock something. So those are the ones you actually want to do because they'll unlock a mechanic or some sort of mount or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I'm
more you know.
not really a fantasy man.
Yeah, you'll see just how cringe my top 10 games list is because a lot of them are MMOs and I know I'd have more hours than Steam lists because I played them on other launchers, but I think let's get right into it.
Sure.
Ryan, do you want to go you start us off. What is your number one all-time most played game on Steam?
What do you think? It's Tekken. It's just Tekken.
Honestly, when you said that, so I know Ryan a little bit more than the audience who don't know you at all. And I know you're a nuclear throneman, and I would have
Yeah,
said that. But I forgot Ryan is like a notable Tekken player and actually plays Tekken a
not
lot.
not quite notable, but I'm consistent. I've
Yeah.
been at it for like a year and a half. I'm not like, you know.
Ryan is saying he's the number one in the region Tekken player for every region.
I do think I am. I think I am of some significance to the character I play in my general area. I think there's a good radius in which I am the best person to play that character in that radius. But
And let's plug our social media so you can agree with Ryan too. I'm Matt Fondude
wow,
on Twitter. I forgot to do this in the beginning, so we should do this
sure.
now.
Polkabird _ on Twitter. Nowhere else.
Yeah, go tell Polkabird all about Tekken.
I'd love to
Um,
know.
I'd love to know. Who do
I
you
don't
play
know
in Tekken?
anything about it.
Yeah, what buttons do you press in that game?
A couple of them. Not
Ryan,
all of them all the time,
what is
but
your favorite button from Tekken?
probably. See, you ask this as if it's a joke question. It's a real question. I'd say lay down back four.
hmm
That's probably my favorite button. Just because you throw it in there randomly and it works. It's dumb. It also gets you killed a lot, but it's great.
Now, what does that move actually like look like and do? in the
It's
game?
called Rave Spin,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the move that a lot of people know this character for, and it's where he like crouches down and he sweeps his leg underneath and sweeps the leg of the opponent and sends them spinning in like a spiral, and then he like during that same spin kick he like jumps up in the air and kicks the spinning opponent, so it's like a double hit kind of thing. Um, but if it's blocked, they get like a full combo off of it. So
Now, that's one of your character's 527 moves, right? Especially your character,
179, I believe,
179.
off the dome.
Yeah,
But
Tekken is really good. Tekken 7, I could never really get into it that much cuz there's a lot of complexity. It's the problem is there's so many matchups you have to learn. It feels very overwhelming, especially
there's
with all the
almost
moves
50
too.
characters, and there's like, 9 entries in this, nine, well, 7 main entries, 9 entries counting tag in the series, and there's new mechanics that were added to basically each one. You got to know, like, learning it from the ground up now is, you got to learn like 20 years of legacy. It's crazy.
Now, what about Tekken versus any other fighting game? Like, why are you sticking with Tekken?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's the one that stuck with me the most. It just seemed like I like the depth, and I like how many options there are, and I like the complexity and just ridiculous amount of stuff that you have to learn, because there's no bottom. Like, there's some games that characters have like 6 moves and there's only 12 characters, and you could feasibly see every interaction within 100 hours. And it's like, to have seen every single situation between two characters in this game is like an unfathomable, like, literally impossible task.
Yeah, you
I
have to
think
be playing from like the arcades day one, basically, to be
even
at that point.
then, I don't think there's a person on this earth that has seen every possible interaction between every two character,
Hmm.
or between every character, I guess, in any modern iteration.
Mhm. Now, I've played a bit of Tekken 7, and it's not necessarily for me. I can see the appeal. I think it's actually a pretty fun casual game, to be honest. Like, you can get
It's
away
yeah,
with
it's a
a good
fun buttons
amount
game.
in that game. Yeah, if you press buttons, like I consider myself able to play fighting games and I can learn inputs and I have a fight stick, I can play games. I don't get too into it. But as a full casual, like you're just mashing buttons perspective, I've had friends enjoy it as well. Um, you can enjoy it in that way. I like the character customization. I think is
Hmm.
really fun and kept me playing the game longer than I would have if that wasn't in there.
It's funny because you say this for the game that has the least character customization. Probably, I mean, I didn't play Tekken 6, but I've seen some of the screenshots of what you used to be able to do compared to what you can do now in 7, and it's like they cut it so hard. Like, 7 is just terrible.
Well, I mean, from a playing the game perspective, it is actually kind of annoying that you're trying to learn these matchups, and half the time you're fighting a character that looks completely different than the character model you think. And there's a lot. It's really flashy, and it can look kind of gross. But it is fun to dress up your characters. Now, like Tekken 7 has like a ton of cosmetics you can unlock by just playing the game, which
Mhm.
is I think a lot of fun and a good reward for playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm just, I don't know. You get to a certain point where you just start picking presets, and you're like, I'm over customs. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear you talk about this, because it's been quite a while since I've been really like involved in making customs all the time.
It's a very casual viewpoint. I think any game like that, when you enter it and it has those kind of novelties of like, oh, I want to play with these custom stages. Like I'm coming from like a Smash perspective. It's like I
Hmm.
want to play with these items or custom stages, or I want to do this stuff. The novelty eventually wears off, and you're just like, okay, we're gonna go bare bones, ugly everything. Like we're gonna play on a stage that looks bad, but it's just we're gonna play in the training room, which is a lot of fighting games. So it's like we're just gonna play in the white training room
Yep,
with nothing going
Street
on.
Fighter.
Yeah,
There's the map is just called the grid.
yeah.
It's
And,
just,
and that's kind of just how it works with competitive. You get more and more simplified, less caring about
yeah.
that kind of stuff. One of the things of like Counter-Strike players playing on like low graphic settings to just have like higher frames and stuff like that, where it's just
Hmm.
like make your game look way worse to turn off foliage. Like I know a lot of battle royale games, it's like yeah, turn off the foliage basically so you can have an advantage, and it's
I I remember so much of that with like I think that was a big thing with like PUBG when it came out. And it
hmm
was one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm crawling through this big grass of like or this big field of grass and hay, and I feel like I'm hidden and I'm in the middle of the field, and like to a sniper scope perspective, 300 meters away from you, where they have the foliage turned off, you're just an idiot crawling on a green plain. Like
yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm so sneaky, and then you just get shot in the head immediately.
Now there are some games that fix that, like even on low, they just have like a different way of displaying it to make it more fair. But like, yeah, I've never been one to turn down graphic settings to make a game look less good to have a slight competitive edge. I think that's when it becomes less fun.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, I
there's
like
a
pretty
point.
games. It's a pretty
Mhm.
cold take.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a point in every competitive game where you look at yourself and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to look up a YouTube video. How do I get the edge? Like, what are pros settings? And then you're like, oh, I'm playing a game like Rocket League where it's like, oh, I'm using my settings right now. I'm fine with that. And you're like, actually, all the pros use these binds, these camera settings. And you're like, I guess I'll just do that now. And,
Hmm.
it just, you got to be competitive, which is cool, and it's good to get the edge sometimes. But I think that's the time around where I fall off a game is when it gets too crazy like that.
Yeah, and you have to start compromising like things you're comfortable with for things that give you a slight advantage that, oh, you just got to get comfortable with it again.
hmm Now, if this is, I'm like very fickle when it comes to anything, especially gaming. If it's competitive, if there's a mechanic I don't like, if I love the game, like I like League of Legends, I would play that, right, and I'll be like I would have a lot of fun. I like the team fights. I like that. But like certain mechanics where it's like, oh well, I don't want to think about where I want to play support, but I don't want to think about where I put wards. Well, I guess
Hmm.
I'm just not gonna play this game anymore. Just like I don't like this mechanic is annoying to me, so I don't want to learn it, which means I'll just like fall off the game. Um, or like in Smash, some of the advanced techniques, like I in melee, I can wave dash and L cancel and shield drop, do all these different like advanced techniques, but like the L canceling or whatever. When you do like an aerial, then you like press the shield button, you like can cut your recovery time in half or whatever like that.
Hmm.
There's like annoying things like that that I don't want to do, and it's like if I don't do it, I'll never be better at the game. So I guess I'll just stop playing.
Yeah, I get that. I remember there was a time in which we were in college at the same time, and we I think my first experience with any kind of like competitive gaming tournament or anything was when we went to a Smash tournament. And I was like, I just was so on the edge of the water here, where I was like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to press buttons, and there's people who are just like, just destroyed me that I didn't even know you could get that good, kind of thing. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, yeah, this is fine. I don't know. Like
What's funny is those tournaments we went to, I think were probably all for Ultimate too at the time.
they
Which
were, yeah. Oh no, they were for 4 because Ultimate wasn't
oh
out.
maybe oh yeah, okay, it could have been 4 and then Ultimate eventually too. But yeah, I'm like okay at Ultimate, but it's not my like game of that was highly a play in person game, and then
Hmm.
I just haven't played with anyone in person, so I just haven't played it. That game is not fun to play online.
I would imagine. Yeah, I've heard just like everything about Nintendo netcode is just awful. Um, I will say I played Smash again after getting into fighting games, and oh my god, it is so fun. I
It is
completely
fun.
forgot how fun Smash was. Uh, Super cold take. I'm just making plenty of just ice cold, frigid Arctic takes today, but like my god, there was another one of my friends who also plays fighting games. We were doing kind of like a 4 or 5 person Smash thing, and I love that they added Ryu because it's just like he's such a versatile, basic character that it's like, look, he even works in this game. And I'm just in the basement here, and like everyone's fighting upstairs, and it's like we got to deal with Ryu in the basement. But the moment you go down there, he just plays footsies with you and like whiff punishes you. Like,
Have you played Tekken Man in Smash? Do you know?
no, I don't have any DLC for Smash.
I feel like you could clean up as Tekken Man. in
I
Smash.
could. The worst part is that I don't play Mishimas in Tekken, and I'm really bad at
Hmm.
them. But
Fair
I'm
enough.
sure it's kind of simplified for Smash in a way where it's like I know how their tools are used.
Yeah.
So like I bet like it's not. I wonder if it's probably not one of those things where it's like you have to actually like EWGF, which is like sure you can input. It's like forward, down, down, forward consecutively. Like I wonder if it's like something they changed it so that it can just be like side B or something. I don't
Well,
know. I
I
don't play
think some of the
Smash.
moves are on the specials, but I think like Ryu, you can do all of them by input.
Oh, okay.
So I think every move is in there for some reason, or like a lot of them for no like because Sakurai is crazy and just is like we'll add 400 moves to
An
a character
entire
in
Tekken
Smash.
move set. That's incredible.
I have not played so I haven't played Smash since Pyra and Mithra were at it. Basically, like I
Hmm.
played Steve. I mean maybe Steve was after that, so I did play Steve for a little bit. Yeah, Steve was the last character I tried. I have all the characters. It's just like again, I want to play it, but it's an in person kind of game. But
Definitely.
swiftly
Yeah.
moving on.
I was
To
about to say the same thing.
yeah,
We're
because
16 minutes in. We're one down my list. So why don't you give me one of yours?
yeah. All right, my number one game. The reason I bought Steam, or the reason I got Steam in the first place, is Gary's Mod.
Okay.
Coming in at a. Oh wait, did you say how many hours you have in Tekken?
No, I didn't. And this is what I mean is that anybody that knows Tekken will know this is not a lot, but I have a 1014 in Tekken.
Okay.
But that's only really like home stuff. Like I
You
play
know
a
what's
lot offline.
you know what's really weird? We basically have the same hours in their top game. I have 1,398
Okay.
hours in Gmod. So we have like a weirdly equivalent amount of hours in our top game. Um, but yeah, Gary's Mod, a game which basically led me to buying the orange box. So I had to buy the orange box so I could have access to Half-Life 2 to play Gary's Mod.
Hmm.
And basically I was watching YouTube videos of like Gmod Idiot Box. I don't know if you're familiar with any of the like Gary's
Nope.
Mod videos.
I've
Oh.
never gotten involved in Gary's mod, not once.
Oh, that's crazy. Um, maybe you could get in on Sandbox, like they're making another Gary's Mod type game called like Sandbox, which is
Okay.
running on the new Source engine. And that could be
That
fun
could
at
be
some point.
cool. I don't know. I just Gary's mod was one of those things that I never really like. So I didn't have the initial exposure like through YouTube like a lot of people did of like, wow, what is this crazy game? Um, and I just never really like. I think I tried it. I booted it up maybe like once, and I was just like, you just kind of put things down and you shoot them with like Half-Life weapons. I don't know what the point is here. And I
Mhm.
never really got it, but I understand what it is now, and I understand it's like making games and building maps and stuff. But
Well, I spent a majority of my time on the multiplayer servers, especially on Dark RP, which is like a roleplay. It is one of the worst roleplay games of all time because no one actually roleplays at all.
okay,
But you have classes and every server is different, and they have like each server you play on will have different plugins and mods and stuff like that. But the basics are you have like a gun dealer, you can sell guns to other players. There's a citizen, there's a police. You can be a police member to arrest people breaking the law. You can be the
hmm
mayor, so you can make the laws, and you can. There's a bunch of other stuff. You can be like a homeless and all this random stuff. But basically, what it is just like 64 people on a server, and you have proximity voice chat. Just go nuts and like make
hmm.
friends and yell. Run around the server with like a melon and like be like, I'm selling melons today, and then people
I
like
think
yell at
that's
you.
been almost entirely replaced with
VR
like
chat.
GTA RP,
Oh, that yeah, GTA
which
online, which I haven't really gotten into.
I see the clips. I've never played it. I don't know. Like I feel like it's hard for me to get really invested in like an RP thing like that, where I'm just like, you know, talking in character in like a voice chat thing. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. It just seems like strange to me. I understand why it's fun, and I'm sure it would be fun, but it's like I can't not look at what I'm doing top down and be like, what the hell am I doing? Like
Well, to clarify, Dark RP, there were more serious role playing games on Gary's Mod, like Half Life role play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dark RP was like no effort. Everyone was out of character. You'd have abusive admins running around, flying people around, banning people. It would just be it was a bunch of kids being dumb and yelling at each other, and it was just fun. And like
Hmm.
half of the games on Gary's Mod were like that, where you're just like hanging out with people and yelling. Um, One of the modes that was probably the greatest. There's the greatest two modes of Gary's Mod were probably Gmod Tower, which was developed by the people who made a game on Steam called Tower Unite right now, which you should check out for sure if you liked Gmod Tower. And that was kind of a game where you had a big map that was like a lobby. And in this map, you could have an apartment, and you would basically just hang out with like 100 people on a server, and you would
Uh-huh.
just talk to other people. So you would just hang out, and there was mini games that you could play. There was like a monkey ball mini game where you would verse people, and you'd gain money to spend on furniture and get achievements and all that stuff.
This
Um,
looks kind of like VR chat with something to do and not VR.
yes, yes. If are you looking at Tower Unite right now
I
or
am,
Gmod
yeah.
Tower?
Sorry, I was curious. I had to
Yeah,
look at
I
it.
gotta get back into Tower Unite. There's a whole arcade in that game. Like they have a whole arcade that is all like those like scam arcade games like Stacker,
Yeah, yeah.
and all that is in there. And you get credits, and you can use those credits for like furniture and decorate your house and have people over. You can watch YouTube in it. Um,
It's really
Really
funny
good.
that did I ever tell you about did I tell you the story about Stacker? I think I might have told you at one point how when I was oh god, I don't even know how old I was. I was probably like 12 or 13, maybe younger, not totally sure. And we went to one of those arcade places near me, and I think I don't know if it was my birthday or we were just there or something. I don't think I ever went somewhere like that for a birthday, but so I think we were just there, and it was some occasion in which I was allowed to have like $100 worth of tickets or something, or of like credits, and I blew almost all of it on Stacker, and I got nothing out of it. I got sucked in. That was my first run in with like child gambling. I don't like it was so compelling to be like, oh my god, I could get like 10,000 tickets and buy like a lava lamp or something.
It's so funny you say that because I had the literal exact same experience
I feel like a
where
lot of people did.
I was at a birthday party, and this is like so like I was so like rock bottom at like that age too, like it's so young to be at rock bottom.
Hmm.
But I was playing Stacker, and I felt that feeling of like, oh, this is what addiction feels like. It literally
Yep.
was like, I think I have a gambling issue. Like even at that young age, just from like playing Stacker, I'm like, I should keep an eye on this to not have this happen with actual things that matter. But like I got this rush where I'm like, yeah, and then I was literally like asking my friends 'cause I ran out of credits, and I was like, yo, can I just get like one credit? Like I'm so close to like winning Stacker, like I need one credit, and then I'm like, I should categorize this feeling right now and return to this later because this might be a problem.
The absolute irony of Stacker is that it just like, well, I mean, it's this way with a lot of gambling, but like, you have no control over that, right?
Hmm.
Like, if
Oh
you
yeah.
lose, it'll make you lose. Like even if you should have won,
Oh no, it is. There is
yeah,
a payout system.
it's rigged. It's
I
like a
have one
chance.
Stacker, by the way. I've won
I
a
have
major
too,
prize.
yeah, but
Um,
it's yeah,
it has in the actual board for the game. There is a dip switch or something where it's like, how many games do you want to have a payout? Where it's like 1 in 500. So you not only you have to hit the 1 in 500 chance, but you also have to win. Like you know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
have to be at the last one and win, and then usually it'll just like dip over. By the way, if you haven't played Stacker, it's an arcade game where you have
Where you
three
stack
blocks.
blocks, it's
Yeah, you
yeah.
stack a tower, and they go back and forth, left and right, really fast, and it's hard to like stack them. Um,
I think there's like so many different variations of this as like flash games and mobile apps and like it's a common format where it's like the platform is moving left and right, and then you put it on the platform that exists already, and any overhang gets like dropped off, and then the next piece is
mhm.
as small as the piece you just put on,
Yeah, the
kind of thing.
problem with Stacker as a game is it's really easy to win every single time if it wasn't rigged because
Yeah.
it's not a hard game.
No, it's really not.
Um, Now the level of riggedness will depend on um the prize. So if the major prize is like a Nintendo Switch, you're gonna be a 1 in like 1,000. You're never gonna get it
Yeah.
chance. If it's I won it when it was a $15 iTunes gift card, and I won the major prize. So it's like they're not gonna care, you know. One in every 50 is gonna win.
Right.
They'll make their money. So yeah, I would say post podcast check out Tower Unite. That game goes on sale all the time too, and it's pretty inexpensive. And I've been looking for a reason to get back into it, so that could be fun. There's also a casino in that game too. You can play slots and play poker with people.
Oh, good. You can
Yeah,
reinforce your gambling addiction.
yeah. You can gamble with children's money, or you can gamble with like real money. So
You know what the
it's fun.
amazing like full circle would be is if they had like a stacker game in there.
They do. Oh, they
Do
do.
they?
They
Oh,
do.
that's great.
Yeah, they have they have that game where you like drop the coin and it like goes on a conveyor belt and shoots into
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
hole.
The coin. Yeah, I think that's
They got
literally just called like coin pusher.
no,
At
there's
least
there
I
is
thought
a
that was.
coin pusher,
Yeah, I
but
thought that was the
it's the one.
generic.
No. There's ones that like it goes on a conveyor belt that shoots into a like a little slot. There's like
Oh
a
yes,
rolling
yeah, yeah, yeah.
slots.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's the like the little like coin target practice game, but like it's
yeah.
also like random because it moves back and forth.
hmm They have all of those. They have all of those classic games in there to play, and they're
Hmm.
really good. I would highly recommend it. Anyway, back to Gary's mod for a brief bit, just to end it, because you don't really have that much experience.
Right.
I'll just shout out some game mode titles for the fans. Ultimate Chimera Hunt, Jailbreak, Dark RP, Sandbox in general. Actually, Gmod Cinema or whatever. There was a movie theater uh map, and I believe it was also made by the people who did Tower Unite. I think the Tower Unite people did like they did Ultimate Chimera Hunt as well. They made like all the good game modes for that game, and then they made their own. They made their own game which has all the stuff they made before in it. Um, but there's a cinema game mode where you would watch YouTube videos together with people, and it had 100 player slots, and the map was custom made, and it had secrets around the map. So it was a movie theater map, and there was multiple theaters that you could walk into, and there was hidden things all around the map, and you could get like character customization on the server, and there's credits, and you get points for watching videos. But the biggest, coolest thing was you'd be sitting there with 100 people all watching like what videos you'd find on YouTube. So whatever meme video you would find, you'd put it up there. So it was like exposing me to all these new like funny videos and content creators, and you could vote to skip, and like everyone would be chatting together. It was kind of like watching something on Twitch.
Like a giant watch together or something.
Yeah, it was so fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was super good. Then that shut down, but now there's like a game mode called Cinema, but it's not the same because it's just like a game mode, and like there's 100 different servers running it. So it's not everyone. There used to be one server that everyone was on, and now everyone on these other servers are just playing like degen stuff too. It's just like it's not as fun. But
Anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
moving on.
it seems like your all of your hours in Gmod are not really consolidated to one game in the same way that mine are, where it's
Yeah,
like you're
they're all
playing
over the
a
place.
billion different things. It's like the Gmod launcher.
Oh yeah,
Anyway, number 2, I feel like might be up there too. Team Fortress 2. I
yeah.
have
We have the same
859.
number two.
Cool.
So
859.
yeah,
I don't know where you're at.
1,136.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you may have had a mic switch, by the way.
Have I?
Oh, never mind. For like 1 second, it was weird. Okay, we're good. I'm keeping it in the pod. But yeah, TF2, you can go.
Yeah, TF2. I really don't have a whole lot to say about this. This was just the game that I got on after high school. Like every day after high school, I would go home 5 days a week. I played over the weekends. It was just my fun. Like it was the first game I really, really got into as like a young adult kind of thing, or as like a teenager, where I was like, I can just see myself playing this over and over. And I never really got that good. I just played it a lot. I was pretty like decent at like getting air shots and stuff with Demo Man, because that's really the only character I played. I tried to play competitive a couple times. I was in the lowest division league. I was in a team called Aces High that doesn't exist anymore. They were pretty cool. I met a couple of cool people there. Yeah, I was the backup. I wasn't even like a main team member. That's how like okay I was at the game. In the
You're like
lowest
the
division,
understudy,
basically. I was the understudy demo
reserve.
man.
Yeah, Team Fortress 2, again, this was from when I bought the orange box, and it's just like, I think a lot of people got it through the orange box. I don't know if you did,
No,
or you just bought it.
I just bought it.
Hmm,
Yeah,
just
and then
straight
it
up.
went free to play shortly after, so I got my proof of purchase.
Oh, okay, you got in pretty late then.
Yeah, I did.
I was playing on a laptop with a trackpad.
As was I for a while.
I didn't even realize that a mouse was like an option. I'm like, I'll play with the trackpad, whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
30, probably like garbage frame rate, but just like, I don't know, Team Fortress 2 was again like a social platform. I'm also played 1,000 whatever hours, terrible at the game. I only really, I would say 100 hours of actually playing the game. I feel like the other amount of time was just sitting on trade servers with people.
Oh my god, yeah, me too. That's why my
Yeah.
Steam analytics say I only have 78 hours as demo man. Um, because I'm pretty sure about 500 hours or more of that was like trade servers, and I was bad at negotiating too. But that taught me how to get okay at bartering.
Well, you see, the thing was, back in the day, there was also achievement idle servers where
Oh
uh,
yeah.
you would sit around and you would just try to get items. Because in Team Fortress 2, every couple of hours, uh, you would get an item, and you might get a hat, or you might get some sort of item, so you can make scrap to get a hat or do something like that. And you would just sit around on servers with people and chat with them. And like, I've made friends in Team Fortress 2 and Gmod that I still talk to today, and it's
Hmm.
like, I mean, that was kind of the big social thing I think a lot of people miss about Team Fortress 2, and they talk
I
about
definitely do.
when they compare to Overwatch and stuff like that.
I think a lot of it. I mean, okay, so this is the case for a lot of stuff, but I think a lot of missing the TF2 experience, like the social experience in that way, is more just that you miss being that age. like
I
I
agree
don't I
completely with
don't
that.
think it was anything really special. I think it was just I miss being 14 and being on like trade servers and sniper battling someone, and then somebody trade requested me to get my silver Australian bot killer wrench, and I they gave me a hat that was worth a lot less because they scammed me out of it and convinced me it was worth more because I didn't know that scrap.tf existed, and like stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like just in Team Fortress 2. I mean, I think Team Fortress 2 is still fun to play though. That's the thing. Like Gary's mod,
Oh, absolutely.
I boot up Gary's mod every once in a while, play for 2 seconds, and like realize like, yeah, this isn't really for me anymore. Like I don't have that same spark as when I was a kid. But Team Fortress 2 is still a fun game. I can still enjoy playing that. I don't enjoy it the same way as I did, where I would idle and talk to people all the time. Uh, but I enjoy it for the game it is now. Weirdly enough, I now play the game more than I did back then,
Hmm.
in gameplay wise. Um, but yeah, Team Fortress 2 is still great.
Yeah,
So
it's a good one. So that crosses off both of our number twos. You want to hear my number three? This is the reason I bought Steam.
sure, ours are very going to be very different.
I'm sure they are. This is Civ 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that one match?
Yeah. No. So I have 457 hours in Civ 5, and I played it a lot. I liked it. I
Mhm.
got the install disc. I remember the date that I made a Steam account, April 26th, 2012. Um, specifically, or no, maybe it was December 26th, which would make a lot more sense. But I think I went to Target and bought it on my own. Um, anyway, Civ 5, I played it a lot. I liked strategy stuff, and I liked board games a lot when I was younger, and like, before I played a lot of video games, I played a lot of like stuff like that. And I guarantee you at least 100 hours of these on Civ 5 are because my laptop broke. And so, all right, I had this Toshiba laptop that actually, yeah, even if
A
there was,
satellite? Was it a satellite?
it was a
Yeah, I
satellite. It
had
was
that
a
too.
yeah. So you know what's funny? Even if 100 hours are erased from this would still be my number three. But I booted the game up one time, and there was a power supply issue with my computer. My monitor turned off, and being like maybe 12 or 13, I didn't know how to deal with it. I think the monitor completely broke on that laptop. So it just like I didn't want to unplug it because I was scared that it wouldn't like turn on again. I didn't want to turn it off. Civ 5 was still running with the volume, so it was just playing the peaceful Civ 5 birds and like orchestral occasional music ambience, and it would just sit there on the dining room table playing that because I also didn't know how to turn the volume down. So it was about 100 hours, probably like almost, you know, like a week straight before the weekend, in which it was just sitting there, just powered on, just playing Civ 5 ambience.
I'm sure that's good for the good for the computer. Also, I
Actually,
like how you turned your laptop into a radio.
I did. Do you want to know kind of a it's funny but in like kind of a depressing way.
Okay.
My parents were getting divorced at this time,
Okay.
and it was a really nasty divorce. There was a lot going on, and it kind of screwed me up for a number of years. And it's one of those things you never really recover from that fully. Like your brain is 12 years old and you're still developing. Well,
Hmm.
I was talking to a CPS therapist during that that time, and they were at my kitchen table. They were like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, my game broke on the computer and I can't turn it off." And they're like, "Well, at least that's pretty peaceful for the house." I
It is
was
so crazy to me, this story. You physically didn't know how to like hold the power button. You just left it
no,
on for
I
like
did,
days.
but I was afraid to turn it off, and the volume control didn't work.
Yeah, but what is the benefit to you? Like, did you not save? Is that where you're like, oh, maybe it'll work eventually?
I was scared that if I turned it off, it wouldn't turn back on, and that
Yeah,
this was a
but
temporary issue. I was 12. I don't know. I like
I know. But even if it did, wait, so but like even if it didn't turn back on, like it was still broken when it was on, so it didn't matter.
I look. I didn't think of that. I didn't think maybe turning it off and back on would fix it. But I was just it just turned off, and I was scared. I don't know.
Man, those Toshiba satellite laptops just
They were,
like
yeah,
were
those classics.
they did not. As soon as I heard Toshiba, I'm like, I had that exact probably model. They just were okay. They were the
Yep,
most
they were
like
fine.
mid thing of all time. Um, oh my god, yeah, no, just like Team Fortress 2 and all that nonsense. I know we're
I
talking
played
about Civ,
TF2,
but
Minecraft, and Civ 5 the most on those.
yeah.
Probably played terrible Minecraft. I played with the what's it the render distance at minimum, so it was like I could only see like 5 blocks ahead of me, and I thought that was just fine. Like
Do
it's
you
the
want to
only way I could
hear
get it to run.
something a little sad about like computer upgrades? I had laptops for a long time, and my first real computer that I've like built, put together, I had no idea what I was doing. I asked older people who knew what they were doing for help, but I didn't really like know what I was doing at all. So I got this whole computer, and I just ordered parts online. I'm like, oh, I got this case. It's on sale. It's called a half size case, and it was like
Oh,
one of those massive 70-pound like gigantic cases that I don't even know what you could fit like 14 graphics cards in there. Like it was I have to say like maybe like 3 feet tall
oh
or
my
something like that.
god.
It was this crazy thing. Weighed like weighed a ton. And then I had like the smallest motherboard ever in it. And then
Hmm.
also it was like I had this AMD graphics card, which made me hate AMD for a while. So like I was playing Skyrim on a laptop, getting like whatever frame rate, and then I get this fully built crazy PC, and I'm getting like not good frame rate on like medium in like
Hmm.
Skyrim, and it was like Skyrim was old at the time, and I'm like I built this PC and it's already bad. But then I got a 680 eventually, and I was like, Nvidia forever now. But I heard AMD is actually pretty good now.
Yeah, I've heard they're better than Nvidia as far as like new releases. I don't follow graphics card releases like that. I just get
Hmm.
one every like 6 years. So like I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get whatever the 80 is. I'll get the 680. I have a 1080 right now. I'm gonna wait like 5 years, and then I'll get like a 580 when that's out, and then I'll be like, cool, we're good.
Hmm.
But yeah, Civ. I have played a little bit of Civilization. Were you the kid in school who was really into history and knew a lot of
Yes.
things? Okay,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
explains it a bit.
Unsurprising.
Because all my friends who played Civ were like that, and I tried to play with them, and they knew about things and geography, and I was just like, they were like making jokes where it's like, isn't it funny, like the
It's like the
Gambia,
Prussian invasion
yeah, the
of
Prussian
like,
invasion of this
that kind of thing.
era, yeah, and I'm
Uh,
like,
what's
I don't know
funny
what you're
is I
talking
was
about.
that in middle school, and then I didn't really stick with that for a long time. So hence my only 67 hours in Europa Universalis 4.
Oh, okay, you played some of the
I
map,
didn't
looking at
I
map
didn't stick
games.
with it. I was almost on the road to becoming one of those people for life, but
Like almost all my friends are grand strategy fans. Like it's really weird. Like and they're all just like looking at maps all day, and I'm just like, I can't. I can
like,
barely find the
can you
state I
imagine
live in.
sitting on the train just like, all right, just what are you reading? Oh, just maps from like 1910. Like, oh, isn't it interesting? The city has moved approximately 3 inches left on the map since the update of the World Almanac in 1913. Like,
Yeah, do you want to hear another like childhood sad story from relating to maps?
absolutely.
Uh so I'm really bad at memorizing certain things, especially like geography and stuff like that, cuz I'll just panic if people ask me like certain questions. So in my school, we had a drill where it was like, "Okay, class, we're going to keep giving you a map of the US and you're going to label every state and capital until and you can stop doing this test when you get them all right."
Oh,
So day one, Johnny Brain is like, I already know all of them, and I also listed like the major city, like you know what I mean. Like this is like young too. We're like this may have been like
yeah.
second grade or something. Like I don't know. Um, but they're like listing, and then I was just like one of the times. It was not that I didn't know. It was just I would panic because I'm like, oh, there's a lot to remember. Same thing with like spelling tests and stuff like that. But I was just sitting there like at my desk, and I was just like, I don't know any of like the teacher came over and was like waiting for everyone to finish, and like everyone finished, and they're like, it was easy, and I'm just like, I don't know any of the states,
Mm.
and I'm like, I know where the state. I mean, I knew where things were, but I was like overthinking it, and eventually, although I will say, I did study, and I eventually got all the states and capitals. Nowadays, I might not be able to do it. Um, Anything outside of the U.S., good luck. I'm not gonna know what it is. I know what Italy's the boot.
Yep.
Yep.
There's that like all of the world countries, Sporkle. It's like that quiz thing. I don't know. I used to play that a lot in middle school because just being like, oh yeah, that's Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Oh yeah.
That's
My friends are like that.
that's Serbia and Austria and Moldova and I don't know, other Eastern European countries that no one knows.
It's just like I really should probably have somewhat of a world knowledge. Have you ever seen those like on the street prank videos where it's like these Americans don't even know where this country is? I'm like, I would not know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should know. That's a very American thing to not really know geography, I guess.
Wasn't there like I might be completely misremembering or just completely wrong here. I feel like there was a video from the 90s of Bill Clinton doing that to people on the street.
Oh, I don't know.
I That could be real. I don't know. It could also be fake.
It's a deep fake.
I was hoping that you would know what it was and I would be like validated here, but I,
Dude,
I don't I have
I
no
can't even
idea.
remember the states, let alone
Bill
comedy
Clinton.
propaganda.
Yeah.
Invent it to shame people about not knowing them. I probably repressed that memory if I did
Anyway,
know.
give me your number 3.
My number three is Mabinoki, which I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's the Nexon published. It's an MMO that is RuneScape but anime.
Okay.
Now hear me out. This game has some really cool features. I have 888 hours on Steam, not accounting for hours I spent outside of Steam. So this might actually be my number one game because I
Okay.
may have spent more hours on it. Um, so it literally is like old school RuneScape, kind of. There's like a rock paper scissors style combat system
Mhm.
where it's like if at a basic level, if you have a melee attack, there's defense which is not broken by basic attacks. There's a smash attack which breaks defense, and then there's a counter attack which is broken by like a whirlwind attack. So basically, it's like a rock paper scissors game. They expanded it with a million different classes. Um, it's one of the first games that I've ever played MMO that has a MIDI, like you can play any song on an instrument MIDI thing.
That always sells me on MMOs. I'm not big on them.
Oh yeah,
I'll sit and play them for like maybe 10 hours max. If it's got a MIDI function, I'm actually enjoying myself for those 10 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I believe Final Fantasy 14 has that. Actually, you know what? I know it does because I saw someone hook up their like rock. They like hooked up some sort of like rock band guitar to it, and were using that to play guitar.
hmm,
It was some like, but it had like strings. I don't know. They did some sort of MIDI guitar and were playing guitar in the game, which was pretty awesome. Um, but yeah, like bless you.
thank you. Sorry, I tried my hardest to move away so that was not audible.
Yeah, no, I mean it was audible, but it's ASMR. It's
Oh God.
wet
Oh
wet
God.
debris ASMR. Um yeah, no, but Mabinogi is like they had some really interesting ideas where it was this open world MMO where you could do whatever. It's like RuneScape. You can there's no like I mean there was a main story quest line, but like you could just do whatever and hang out with people. They had these systems where you could like do like merchanting between towns, and it was one of those games where you can level up every single skill in the game. So you can just do whatever. Like I'll go mine today. I'll go do this. Problem being is the game never really got updated. Like it's still online today, but it's like and it was also a Nexon of America published game,
Hmm.
which means it's a free to play MMO with like the most egregious microtransactions of all time for
Hmm.
like gacha stuff. One of the things in that game is your weapons and armor can degrade, and when you repair it, there's different repair services in the game that have a percentage chance of failing, and if they fail, they break a maximum point of repair durability. So if your sword has 40 out of 40 durability, they can break it. So now your sword only has 39 durability,
Oh,
and
good.
that like there's something in my brain that I can't physically play this game anymore because it's like I want to repair my weapon, but what if the number goes down? Now it's not perfect, and now it's like it just drives me insane. And but they sell you with real money an option to get perfect repairs all the time. And there's
Oh
also
yeah.
pets. The pets are so overpowered in that game. I had a lot of them where you would summon a pet, it would fully heal you. Like each pet had a summon effect where you'd summon it and it would like fully heal you or be like a full inventory. It was a lot of predatory microtransaction stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
yeah.
That's a lot of, I mean, I'm not here to just like bash on MMOs, but I just that is my indication of what most MMOs are. I'm just not an MMO person. I have to just accept that. People have tried so many times to be like, "Oh yeah, you should play this MMO with us." And like, or the fellas are all getting on New World when that comes out, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I'll play it for a little bit." And I don't know. I can't get invested.
Well, New World is a dumpster fire and very unfortunate. The game is great, and actually that's on my list here, like pretty high up.
Hmm.
Uh, New World is really good. It's just unfortunate, and maybe if they keep updating it, I'll come back to it one day because I really did have a lot of fun playing it at the time when it came out. But it's one of those things.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah,
Um,
but no, yeah, this game is just like a mulligan. We'll just take the L. Yeah,
um.
it was good.
Anyway, I'll go on to my number four
Oops.
here because I actually have some kind of funny stories on this one. So my number four is GTA 5, and I'm not the
Okay.
biggest GTA fan. I just liked the like. All right, so I've always loved like open world games, like when I was really young, and when GTA 5 was out for a couple of years and it was on the 360. I think this is before the I guess now it's previous gen, but in my brain I still think of it as next gen. But like anyway, the Xbox One had been coming out, and the 360 version was like really cheap or something, or maybe it was cheaper because people were like, "Oh, we don't use the 360 anymore," even though that game's still $60 everywhere for no reason. Um, I borrowed it off of someone, and I played it, and my mom was like really righteous about it for some reason, but she's not even like that kind of person. She's not even like, oh yeah, like I don't know. But
Oh,
that
like
was just
anti
her.
video game, like the
That was
cause
her
of
one
violence.
sticking
That
point was like, I'm not letting you play GTA because I guess she heard about, oh, you can have sex with prostitutes, and then you can murder them and dump them in a dumpster, and then like run around and like do cocaine and like do stuff like that. And she's like, that I just don't think that's a constructive use of your time. And I'm like, all I'm doing is driving around and just like I like flying planes, and like I don't even care about the story. I was just like in middle school or late middle school, early high school, and I'm like, I don't know, it's just fun to like be in this open world because it's really well developed. So the summer of 2014, I think, no, 2015, I worked a summer job and I saved up and I built a computer for myself. And GTA had come out for the PC shortly after. So I was in anticipation to actually finally play this game on my own, because I was like, okay, I'm like 16. It's not like, it doesn't really matter anymore. And she was still like stuck on this. Like, you can't play this game, even though I'm pretty sure it's fine at this point. And pretty much until I turned 18, she was like, if she walked in the room and I was playing it, I'd have my finger on the Alt Tab key. I was like ready every time. If I heard someone going up the stairs, I was immediately just like, I am ready to go. And like I hear someone coming down the hallway, I would do it preemptively all the time. And that actually was to my downfall one time, because to avoid all of this, at this point, sometimes I have accidentally alt-tabbed to things, not even nefarious things. I don't do nefarious things on my computer, but I had a program set up that I could have a rotating desktop background.
I love where the story is going.
And there was something like 20,000 images in here. It was from a giant Imgur folder. And I didn't know, it's not like I vetted every single image. This story, you can tell where it's going, but like I tabbed some things. It happened 3 distinct times.
You let it happen 3 times. You didn't. Yes. After the first time, you were like, maybe I'll have a static background.
I liked the desktop rotation.
The thrill of it all.
I liked enough of it that it was like, I don't want to say it was worth the chance, but it was just a unique thing to have that I thought was cool.
You were just rolling like every image on Imgur on your desktop, just like, oh look, a cow skull. Oh look, it's like a man getting electrocuted by like electrocuting wires.
It was nothing like it was all 3 of the times it was porn, or like softcore porn basically.
That's ridiculous.
And I like all 3 times I would rather have just her walked in and seen GTA. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like that kind of shit. I'm just like, I'm not like, please, I swear, like this is, I told her, like at the first time, how much of an excuse does it sound like, where it's like, no, I promise, this is a randomized desktop stream from a website that I don't control what's on there. She's like, you don't control what's on your desktop? Like, no, I swear. Like,
I'm with your mom there. I'm like, and then the second time you're like, you haven't changed it. So you're like, yeah. I like the thrill of it.
Okay, but
I enjoy the thrill.
The funny thing is that all 3 times she still didn't believe me, where I'm like, I swear to you, this is random. I don't control this. And it's like, and she's like, all right, okay.
That's ridiculous.
Oh God. That's my GTA story. I'm done. I'm not talking about the actual game. Everyone knows what GTA is. Oh God.
I had a similar experience, but I remember how you're like, oh, I was not allowed to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to buy Red Dead Redemption 1, and I was underage at the time, so I had to get a parent to buy it. Classic. And the guy at the GameStop, I didn't even go in with my parent. I just, like, she went in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The guy at the GameStop was like, yeah, there's like a bunch of like nudity in this game, and like same spiel. Like, why did he do that at the GameStop? And also, Red Dead Redemption, he, like, what did he save me from, like, having an emotional moment about a man in, like, in his, like, dying traditions of the West and, like, being sad and hunting? It's like, that game is, like, honestly pretty tame.
Yeah, seriously. I definitely, okay. This is kind of I understand both sides of this. So my partner has worked at Walmart before. That was like his first job. And he he used to do that all the time to people when like kids would come in and be like, Mom, it's okay. Look, I want to buy GTA. And like, trying to be, look, it's just a driving game. And then he would be like, you understand this game is full of
Oh
drug
my god.
references and prostitution and just like all kinds of stuff, just to like ruin it for the kid, just because it was
So
funny.
yeah, I was
Uh,
the kid who had it ruined. It wasn't so funny.
but here's the thing. I understand that for something like GTA or Call of Duty because it's like it's just whatever. For like Red Dead Redemption, that at that point just like it's like okay, yeah, this is a good game. This isn't like,
I
a
know.
dumb like needlessly violent like middle school type game,
Do you want to hear the audacity of this whole situation? The
What's that?
audacity of the world. A couple weeks later, I'm with my grandma at at a store, and my grandma's like, "Oh, let me buy you a game." Like, "Oh, what about this one?" It was God of War Collection 1 and 2 for PS3,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy at the store was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll sell it to you." Like, I was
He
standing
didn't
right
even
there,
care.
and my grandma was like, "Oh, good, you don't play those war games. You're like, this will be good. So you're not playing those gory like war games. You're playing like history." And I'm like, "Yes, yep, that's what
History.
this is." That
Yep.
game is way worse content wise than Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. I mean,
You
and
know,
then at the end of the day too, there's the whole debate about like media and being like it's not the worst thing, and
mhm.
it's I don't know, it's not the 1980s where it's like this is going to turn our kids into trained soldiers like
Now they
yeah.
want you to do that though with their like weird like recruiting games and
Yeah.
stuff.
Anyway, you're number 4.
Number 4, a game I can be proud of, and I'm streaming it right now. Terraria, one of my all-time favorite games. I love Terraria.
Oh,
We have the most discerning, different
mm,
opinions on every game. It's crazy.
I Terraria is just one of those games where it's like I c- I feel like if I was ever to play Terraria, I wanted to experience it myself. But I know so many people who are like, "Oh yeah, I know everything about Terraria. Oh, we need to be grinding the first boss by now." And I'm just like, "I'm just building a house. I don't know. I don't care. I like
I will
I
say
I don't
Terraria
know."
is a very wiki heavy game. They've made it better in the future. They've like made it easier to get into it nowadays. But if you don't know how to even start the first boss, I mean they'll summon the first boss eventually for you. But
Mhm.
like you have to know to like go to an altar and like bring stuff to make a summon to do like it is a game that I am constantly still like I don't know something. Let me look it up on the wiki. Like it is like what Minecraft used to be, where it was like you needed to look up every recipe just to know what you're doing.
Mhm.
So I get that. I do hate how most things I enjoy are ruined for you by people asking you overzealously to enjoy them, which happens to a lot of people.
I mean Terraria
JoJo,
is just a victim of that. I don't, you know.
yeah. I am,
Anyway,
yeah,
uh we don't have a whole lot of time left, so you want to speed run our number 5s?
yeah. I mean, I don't have anything really to say about my number 5, but I do want to talk a little bit more about Terraria
Okay,
and
yeah, go for it.
how this game may be a game that I could be like that meme question where it's like, what game would you play for the rest of your life if you only had one game? It's like maybe Terraria because there's so much versatility in like builds and like I can always have fun with every new playthrough.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch the stream. I'm at Fondue Twitch TV. You'll hear my thoughts on Terraria. All right,
Yeah.
what is your did you say your number 4? Was that GTA?
GTA was my number 4.
All right, what's your number 5?
It's not what you think it is.
I don't have any
It's
opinion on what it
it's
could be at
it's
this
uh
point.
it's the Phantom Pain because I just played
Oh,
that game a
okay.
whole lot. And I love that entry in Metal Gear. I've never played any of the other Metal Gear games, and I know that's to Metal Gear fans, it's like blasphemous or whatever. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, where I'm like, I don't I don't know. I just like Metal Gear 5 and the other ones. I'm sure they're good. I just don't want to play them. I don't know.
No, that's a really good one to play though. There's a lot of game like that game story wise is a mess, but like the gameplay is probably the best in the series
I
in
love
terms
it.
of just
It's
fun. It's
it's
just a fun game.
replayable as hell, and I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, you should try the other Metal Gear games. I'm assuming at one point they'll all get a PC port because two is on PC now. Weirdly enough, it's some
Hmm.
weird thing. Um, I would say they're worth checking out,
Yeah,
but
and there's a
they're
lot to be
very
said about
different.
Metal Gear and just Kojima and like just I don't know. Like I can understand him as a person as what he like makes, like the weird like a lot of like what he does cuz I loved Death Stranding. I didn't even finish it. It was a lot of fun. and then like Metal Gear 5, and you can see all the like just weirdness going on there where it's like they need to let this man just be unhinged.
Well, he
um
is now,
yeah,
like with
that's
his
good.
studio and stuff, which is great. I can't wait to see what comes out next.
My last thing about that, I eventually want to get a Sahelanthropus. There's this concept art of Sahelanthropus that it'd be expensive, but I want to get it tattooed
Oh,
because
that would be
I just
cool.
think that'd be a sick tattoo. um Honorable mention, and just 14 hours short of being my number 5, was Nuclear Throne. And the
Okay.
reason, so 155 hours, and that's a lot for that game because you play it in short bursts. It's a run based game. You play it in like
Yeah, it's a
10-minute
roguelike.
increments, you know? So, like, the fact that it's that high at all, I think marginally, it basically would have been my number 5
I
if
feel
I
like
probably didn't leave
everyone
Metal Gear running for no reason a couple
everyone
times.
has a handful of roguelike games that they just like have a ton of hours in if they like that type of game.
Yep.
I'm gonna vaguely mention Vindictus, which is my number 5, which is another it's another Nexon published MMO, but this one's actually kind of good because it runs on the Source engine,
Hmm.
and it's like a physics like action MMO with like levels, like the linear levels.
You're the world's
Um,
first Nexen fan that I've ever met. It
I
seems.
got Maplestory on here. I got no. There's a lot like Maplestory, Dungeon Fighter, like all the games, any game they published. Pop Tag for all the people who played that Bomberman game that no one knows about anymore.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no, I'm gonna just skip over that because right now it's a dumpster fire with like weird stuff in the current game. I will say it's probably the best MMO action combat you could still play today. Like it actually feels like a video game for humans. Like there's weighty combat.
Hmm.
It actually feels fun to play. It's not really that much of an MMO. It's more of a it's more of a co-op, just like linear game. Um, but I'm gonna just go with Binding of Isaac instead. That's my next most played game. It's only off by like it was 246 for Vindictus, and Binding of Isaac is 241.
I like how we
Binding of
have that
Isaac,
honorable mention that should be our number 5. Both of us do.
yeah,
Like,
it is infinitely replayable. I always buy the DLC. I haven't honestly played that much. I played the first DLC, and then I haven't really played too much of like the additional DLCs and stuff like that.
yeah,
Binding of
I
Isaac
it's
is
a good game.
pure. It is a very pure experience. The gameplay isn't like that fun as a roguelike compared to like a Hades or something like that. But it's the
Yeah,
most diverse. Like there's so many items and every run's gonna be completely different.
totally. I definitely, it would have been higher for me if I didn't discover Nuclear Throne so early and didn't latch onto it. Uh,
Hmm.
I think that's actually my next highest roguelike that I can see here. And it's only at like 18.5 hours, but still,
It's so funny that I'm
it's a
looking at my
fun one.
list here, and every game
Oh no,
after
Risk of Rain
this.
2, 61 hours. Oh well.
Oh, nice. Every game after this is like Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1. Like all these games I consider like I really like Skyrim, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Games I would consider probably better than some of my top 5, but it's my top 5. And when I
Oh
was a
well.
kid, I had more time to play games. That's
Definitely.
kind of representative of the list. And I was playing these games. Binding of Isaac is great though. And I guess we really don't have a lot of time. So I'm just gonna go over to the question segment. We're gonna do a very rapid speed question segment. While I'm doing the read, Ryan, please Google YouTube frying an egg on a sidewalk videos. Verse yourself in that. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
So if you want to send us a question, send a question to the HYEP podcast at gmail.com. That is HYEP podcast at gmail.com. And we'll answer it on this segment. We're going to have a shorter question segment today because we're already over time. So Ryan is Googling frying an egg on a sidewalk videos. Now, this is a pastime that I do often. This isn't really a question. This is more just like letting you know. So there is a whole universe of these frying an egg on a sidewalk videos.
Oh,
Some of them are fake.
that one looks delicious, actually.
Some of them, okay, here's the deal. There are some frying egg on a sidewalk videos that I believe are real. And in those videos, you can tell because they put the egg on the ground. They can sometimes have cuts, which is sketchy. but they'll put the egg on the ground and it'll slowly kind of cook, and it doesn't look like a fried egg. It'll like kind of be like transparent in the middle, but white, kind of cooking a little bit. I don't know if you're what are you watching, Ryan, right now? Like, what can you give us? What kind of vids you looking at?
Uh, well, this guy is his channel is called Arizona Life.
Okay,
So I feel like that's probably real. He used a camera, like a thermal imager on the like sidewalk, and it came up
okay.
to 179 degrees. So I think it's entirely plausible that this is real.
Now here's the problem, or maybe we need to expand this into like a myth busting segment later on. But for now, there are some videos
This is
you'll
real. This is
notice.
totally real.
Okay, but this is a key detail to look out for. In some videos, you'll see a scorch mark on the ground, and some commenter with keen eyes noted that they probably used a blowtorch on the ground beforehand to heat it up. If you'll see a scorch mark, and then that's where they cooked it, or they used a blowtorch on the egg when they cut away to cook it, which can happen in some of the videos.
I don't know. I think this one's real. And this guy is also like cooking it on his dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Now, oh, the dashboard, I've seen that one too. Yeah, that one I think makes sense because it's metal in the sun. I think that has potential to be hotter than the concrete.
Well, he's putting a black cast iron pan down on the asphalt.
Oh, you see, the pan wouldn't putting a pan down on the street cut the heat? Like, it's not going to heat up that fast. The pan,
I think if you let it sit there for a while.
it would get more hot. Then I guess it could get hotter than the ground.
Here's one
I
from
feel like it would take longer.
Australia. Hmm.
You see, also one of my other favorite things is when
This one's real. This one's totally real.
Well, one of my favorite other additional things about these egg videos is when the neighbor comes over and they're like, "What are you doing?" And then they're like, "Oh, we're making an egg YouTube." And the neighbor gets involved, which happens in a few of them.
This guy's seasoning it.
Yeah. Oh, the guy who seasons it, I think, eats the egg at the end. That's also a hallmark of the videos when they eat the egg at the end from the sidewalk and it's covered.
Yeah,
in, like,
look, he's
gravel.
eating it.
He's
Man,
eating the
I
egg.
want eggs now.
Is that the one where the neighbor is there too?
He's sitting behind a storage container, like a shipping container.
Yeah. By the way, I'm with the audience at home right now. I'm also not watching these videos. I just have them memorized from just going back and forth.
You're a bit of an egghead, you know.
Yeah. Honorable mention.
This one's from 2010. I feel like this is probably real.
I think we should do a full stream segment on this and watch these videos in the future. And I will say also, honorable mention goes to people who live in cold climates throwing water up in the air and watching it freeze.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's the sister video to the frying an egg on a sidewalk. If you want to kill some time, that is another good video to look up.
This guy's cooking it on a like a sewer cover.
Okay, a manhole, I guess.
Yeah, like a manhole cover, but it's black metal that's been sitting in the sun.
See, that's gonna heat up, but I would not eat that.
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
eat
either.
any of the eggs on the sidewalk, to be honest.
No, sidewalk eggs are probably gross.
Yeah.
This one's not even cooking that much.
When it doesn't cook that much, I think those are the real videos. I think.
Oh no, hang on. He gives it time. It cooks.
Yeah, but I think the ones that are the most honest are you see it not cooking, then the outer rim becomes cooked. The inner rim and the yolk are very uncooked.
Oh yeah,
and I don't think the yolk
stays
ever
raw.
cooks. I think the yolk always stays raw if they're being honest. And I think some of the times you'll see it, there's blowtorch marks on the ground and people are doing it for clout. Or they'll have a stunt egg and replace it.
That's true. I haven't. None of these have had the actual like egg get cooked, like the yolk. I mean.
Yeah, I would assume that is the most realistic portrayal.
Here's a TikTok re-upload.
I don't know if this is even.
Oh, this one
content,
gets cooked immediately, like
this
real.
This is what I'm passionate about.
Didn't you have questions to answer?
That was a question. I mean, this was a statement more. So, yeah, that was that. I guess here you want to have one question for fiery takes.
Sure.
What's the worst fast food restaurant?
Oh man,
let's go big three first. Of between
the
McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's.
McDonald's is the worst for me. I don't eat beef.
Okay, but can you consider
prior to beef, I'd still say McDonald's.
I agree with you Because McDonald's is good when you have that feeling, but it makes you feel terrible, and it really doesn't taste good. But it's just a craving. I think but sometimes you want a chicken nugget from McDonald's, like a McNugget. You want that, like, and then you
I've
just eat it.
never liked McDonald's chicken.
Yeah, it's not good, but there's something about it.
So yeah, it was just the beef for me when I was eating it, and it was still just like, this isn't it.
Now, do you also agree with me? Burger King actually pretty good.
Yeah, Burger King's underrated. I think the Burger King hate is kind of undeserved. They're trying to be like that cross between like fast food and like a little bit more expensive, trying to be discount Five Guys.
I guess, yeah.
But like, it's not great. It is fast food. But
if I had to pick,
it's decent. It's really decent.
Of the big three, I would pick Burger King. I enjoy it. I like the zesty sauce. I like the taste of the burgers.
I think I probably would too. And then Wendy's is good too. I mean, Wendy's is fine.
Fine. Yeah, Wendy's is great. It's okay.
They recently did bring back an item that I used to really like, and they took it away. And do you remember when the Wendy's Twitter made a Discord, and like everyone was on it?
Is it the Asiago one?
No. The Wendy's Twitter, the official Wendy's Twitter, made they made a Discord, and it was the biggest thing, and everybody joined, and we're spamming it with questions. And I joined, and that was like 3 days after they removed this this thing I liked, and I just kept spamming, and I'm like, what happened to it? Why'd you take it away? Where'd it go? And like eventually they answered me, and they're like, I don't know, it's still on our menu. Check with your regional thing. God. And I'm just like, you lying sack of shit. You're lying to me right now.
Wendy, you took this away. Wendy
is a liar.
Face.
Wendy is. I don't trust Wendy. Wendy's is fine. Wendy is. She is absolutely a liar. I don't believe anything she says.
So my co-host James, we had a similar conversation. When I said Burger King is actually fine, he was like, "Oh no, here we go again," and I'm like, "Why are we perpetuating that Burger King is bad?" And I think it's because people had Burger King. You know what? I think people didn't go to
bad,
Burger King.
No one wants to let that go.
I think, well, it used to be worse, and I also think that people are like, haha, meme funny, Burger King bad. They just haven't gone. And everyone I've taken to Burger King has been like, wow, Burger King's actually pretty good. Every single person.
You did that to me in college.
Every person.
You were like, let's go to Burger King. And I was like, Burger King? Because like I didn't really have any real
bad.
experiences with it. And then I tried it, and you're like, you got to get the zesty sauce. And you like horseradish. And I love horseradish. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll try that. And I was like, yep. Yeah, from that moment on, I was like, Burger King hate's kind of undeserved. It's pretty solid. It's
if
decent.
You were listening to this right now, somehow, still, go to Burger King. If you like horseradish, ask for the zesty sauce. I think it's called zesty dip, actually.
You can get onion rings instead of fries, and I'm a big fan of that too.
Report back. Send us a message about this. Report back.
Just try it.
And try it. Just try it. It's good. They have the Impossible Whopper too. If you don't eat meat,
that's good too. I like that a lot. It's the only burger that I have.
It's not bad.
Eaten quite a while. Well, there's a brewery near me that does like a Beyond Beef burger, but like, having access to a fast food plant substitute beef is pretty good. It's pretty solid. I'm a fan.
All right, I think we just got to end it here because I would ramble for another hour
about Burger King.
I've been Matt Fun Dude on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, everything. I'm on there somewhere. And this has been my co-host.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Polkabird. I would like to actually make a statement here.
Okay.
I would rather don't really. My Twitter is like just fighting game stuff, but I've been consistently my local. I've been on stream a lot lately.
Okay.
They're called Vermilion Series. I'm probably gonna start commentating there too. So check out their streams on Thursday night, Vermilion Series. I'm probably gonna be on there a decent amount, both as a player and a commentator. So that'll be a lot of fun.
All right, and with
first Saturday of every month too.
That is a podcast. Goodbye, everybody. Ryan, you're not gonna say goodbye to everybody?
No.
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna end the podcast to say goodbye.
You don't deserve it. I'm gonna close the window.
No, wait, no, don't close the window. You might ruin the podcast. Goodbye.
Oh, okay.